Hello and welcome to Spotlight Indie. I'm your host, Frasier Armitage, part-time robot, full-time nerd. And joining me is Alex S. Bradshaw, the incredible fantasy author and the greatest co-host when Holly's not here. So, Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm very pleased that I don't have to keep up the pretense this week of being Holly. That's she did visit she just put the fear in me just in our outside the house. She just stood there in the rain with the guillotine, just being like, "That's enough now." So yeah, just being me this week. So yeah, feeling relieved that I don't have to carry that burden anymore.
Yeah, that is good. And I'm relieved that it was Holly there standing in the rain, because you must have missed me the other nights of the week. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, well, your presence brings me comfort.
Yeah.
Holly, with the guillotine, Holly does bring me comfort, but not when she's trailing a guillotine behind her.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She really. There are other more welcoming things she could bring you than a guillotine, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joining us this week on Spotlight Indie is the incredible cyberpunk. She is the queen of cyberpunk. She's the best cyberpunk author out there right now. She's the indie goddess of the creator of Nephilim. Just I want to throw all of the superlatives at her. It is the amazing Anna Mocikat. Anna, how is it going?
Oh my God, I'm so happy I have so much makeup in my face. Otherwise, I would be blushing now and that would look horrible. Thank you so much. That was a hell of an introduction and I'm blushing a little bit. So
good. I hope you mean hell in a good way and not like, oh no, that was hell.
No. It was wonderful. Thank you.
It's so nice to have you, and it's so nice to be able to learn from you because I feel like you do indie writing as it should be done. You have, with all of your releases and with all of your books, you've always done such a brilliant job of everything that I've seen, even though it might not feel that way. So I'm really pleased that we get to have you for this edition of There's No Such Thing as a Stupid Question, because we were talking last time that we had this segment all about the answer to a question that a viewer had sent in about launching their books. So I know that you're an expert at this, Anna, so I'm dead keen to get your take on it. I thought what we could do this week is just explore the idea of marketing, because a lot of first-time authors will have no idea what kind of vortex they are being swallowed by when it comes to marketing your book for a launch. So for any newbie authors, we want to make this as useful as possible. So maybe just tell us a little bit about what your experience was like when you were launching your first book and putting it out there in the world, and there was this pressure to market. What was your experience of that, Anna?
It was tough. It was really, really tough. So I don't, and I mean, it's wonderful when you publish your first book. That's like probably the best thing ever. Like, wow, I published my first book and okay, now I own the world. But then you realize, yeah, I need to do marketing for this book, and that's really awful. And marketing is always awful. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's particularly awful. And I have no idea what I'm doing. So it was really tough, and it's still tough. So marketing is tough, but I'm happy to share as many insights as I can. So maybe others will have it a little bit easier than I had, because my way was everything but smooth.
Yeah, it's usually the way, right? Like you finish writing the book and you think, I'm done, and it's just the start. It's crazy. Alex, what was your first experience of like marketing?
I don't enjoy it at all. Especially, I think we're writers because we want to storytell, we want to connect with other people, but also we enjoy hiding in our little writing holes and just doing it privately. And I'm also very English, so it's not. I can't really present a book to somebody and say I wrote this and it's pretty good. Even there, I've qualified it with saying pretty good. I'm not good at being like this book's the best. You should definitely read that. And when I say it like that, I sound very sarcastic. So I'm not good at marketing at all. But yeah, I tried to put it down with launches. When I launched my books, I just tried to do a little something online as like a little launch party to sort of be like, it's there, and do cover reveals and things like that. But I still am very much in the learning phase of my marketing, career. So I'm definitely eagerly awaiting any wisdom that Anna can, impart today.
Yeah, me too. I feel like
so first advice, you really have to learn not to have a problem to say my book is awesome and you have to read it. This is something you really have to learn. That's something I know we all don't do that. We all are critical. We all have the imposter syndrome. For us, it is like saying something dirty. But yeah, just practice it and just do it. You have to be able to look someone in the face and say, okay, my book is awesome. You really should read it. And you also should be able to write that on Twitter or wherever you're trying to advertise it. And it's nothing bad. You won't burst out in flames. It's not dirty to say that. It's just what you have to do, and you have to learn it, and you don't need to feel bad about it, because that's your job, is to sell your book. And I mean, imagine you would be selling a cleaning product and would say, well, I'm not sure if it will clean your floor, but you should try it. Right? So that's not how commercials work.
That's probably why my career in commercials didn't last very long. It probably cleans the floor. I don't really know.
It does a pretty good job. In terms of if it feels dirty, I feel like we all need to just be like, get dirty. Like, don't be afraid of the dirt. It's like, it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
And I think a really good place to start this conversation would be around at what point you actually start marketing, and when you start that process of how you're going to do it. How far in advance do you normally, or would you recommend starting your marketing plan?
So I would talk about publishing your very first book, because later on it's different. We can talk about that too. Once you have more books out, what to do, how to marketing for a series and so on. But let's assume you're writing your first book. What I would recommend is start doing marketing while you're still writing the book. Don't wait until it's written. Start your marketing by going on social media, and just bring yourself out there, make connections with other authors. That's super important for newbies. Super important. There's the writing community on Twitter, and they are very helpful. There are certain groups on Facebook you can join, and that's what you have to do. You really have to connect with other authors, because they will help you promote your book, and you will help them promote their book. And that's how you get everything rolling. So I think for a beginner, that's super essential that you do that. And you that's also what I did. I started building up my social media presence many months before I published the book. And so I already had a following, and I already had people knowing me, and I've been interacting with them. You have to interact with people, and then this will be very helpful when you launch. Another thing is, people very often, so there are two kinds, but sometimes they will just see a book on Amazon, like the cover, and click on it and buy it. But very often people will buy the book because of the author. So you're not selling just a product, you're selling yourself. You need to think about it. Who am I? How would I like to present myself? What makes me unique? What is something interesting I can talk about? And that's how you grab people's attention. In my case, it's like, okay, I look like that, and so I'm not like the girl next door. But it fits what I write. And also, I'm deeply into cyberpunk, everything cyberpunk. So I post a lot of tech news on and images, and I don't know, trailers and whatnot. And that's how people know me. So on social media, people know me as the Queen of Cyberpunk, because I live cyberpunk. This is my thing. It's my jam. I love it. I do it every day. It's my job. This is me. So but this is also a brand I created for myself. And it's a lot of work. It now sounds like, oh yeah, she just likes cyberpunk so well. No, it's really a lot of work. So to create your own brand takes years, and it is a lot of work. But that's the two things. So when you start out, think about it. What makes me unique? What makes my books unique? What is it that people could remember about me? And go for that. Don't try to be someone you're not. If you're not a goth, don't try to be a goth, because it won't work. Find something for yourself, and that's definitely very helpful. But you have to remember that you have to put yourself out there. If you just put like an anime character a picture of you on social media and then post some stuff, that's not going to work. The people want to see your face. People want to see who you are. People want to connect with you. And when they do that, they will buy your books. And so for newbie authors, first of all, connecting with other authors, absolute number one, essential. And secondly, bring yourself out there, even if it's difficult. I am a shy person, you wouldn't believe it, but yeah, I am. Bring yourself out there and learn how to be self-confident, learn how to be able to say, hey, what I write is great, read it without feeling bad about it, and so on. So that's probably the two things that are super important. And then when you launch your first book, so you start out ideally months in advance, and then you try to get advanced readers for your book. That's for the first book, it's super important to do that. So maybe other authors, you ask them to read your book, and you will read their books in return and give a review. So when you start out and you publish the book, you want to have like 20 reviews as quickly as possible, because that will ignite sales. Some people say reviews don't matter. You need to take care about reviews. That's nonsense. Every review you get is very important for you, everyone. So if you have 20 reviews, you will sell more books than if you have 2 reviews. If you have 50 reviews, you will sell more books than if you have 20. If you have 5,000 reviews, then that's where the money starts flowing. So you want reviews. You definitely want reviews. And unfortunately, only 5% of readers will give you a review. So you have to get those reviews somewhere else. And the best way for that is to have other authors review your books when you don't have a fan base yet. Never go to paid reviews. Never. Don't get paid reviews. They suck. They cost money. And if Amazon finds out, they will ban you. No paid reviews. Don't do that ever. Find people to read your book and review it and post your review. So that's very important at the beginning. And then, yeah, you bring your book out there. Ads. Important. Even if it's your first book, ads. And that brings me to, I'm sorry if I'm now talking like a water.
No, I love it. It's great. It's like so useful. I love it. So like tell us, so for anybody who like is doing this for the first time, Anna, so you've gone through like a really good process there of like get your readers, get the reviews, work with other authors, build your community. But now we're moving on to like a technical thing, which is ads. So just for anybody who doesn't know what ads are, just explain a little bit about what ads are and how you get them.
You have to run ads as an author. If you want to have success, you have to run ads. So unfortunately, there are so many people, like a lot of them on Twitter talking about it, authors who say, oh no, you don't need money to be an author. You need money. Everybody who says otherwise is lying. Authors who are successful because they spend a lot of money on ads. This is the truth. This is the truth. Nobody will tell you. They will always tell, and I hate that. I hate that more than anything else. When authors will say, they will ask them, so yeah, how do you become successful? And they say, oh, well, just write a good book. Fuck you. That's the worst advice ever, because the newbie author will think, oh, my book isn't selling, so my book is bad. And in truth, the other author is spending thousands every month on ads. And then they will tell you, oh, just write a good book. No. Okay. So success comes from spending money. Unfortunately, it's all about money. It's super, super unusual and difficult to make it without spending money as an author. And this is a very, very hard truth to swallow, because when we start out, many of us, we don't have money, right? It's like you do it as a hobby or as a side gig or whatever, and you have your own bills to pay and everything. And then how are you supposed to put money into that? And the sad thing is that you actually have to. So I would recommend newbie authors to start saving before they publish their book. So you write your book and you make a saving account for the book and put like, I don't know, $50, $100 or whatever in it each month. You do that when you start writing your book. And then when your book comes out, you have, depending on how fast you write, maybe a couple thousand to spend, and that can make the difference. So don't say I don't have money. Yes, I was completely broke when I started out, and I didn't have money at all. But you have to find the money to spend it on book advertising, or that your chances to sell books are minimal. And it's getting worse every month because there are more books out every month, and now we are also competing with all the AI written books and so on. So there is such an incredible amount of books out there. If you just put your book on Amazon and hope people will find it, that's almost never happens unless you're super lucky, because sometimes the algorithm will just pick your book up for no reason, and then it will sell like crazy. That happens. Sometimes that happens, but it's so unusual. Usually, those who are successful with their books spend a lot of money on them. So often it's the rich kids, unfortunately. It's not very cyberpunk. I'm not a rich kid, okay? So I work very hard to pay my bills. But the rich kids have an advantage. That's how life is.
What would you say then is, when we're talking about ads, what would you say have you been the most successful places that you've advertised your book, when it comes to thinking back to like the start, Behind Blue Eyes, when you were getting going with that as your indie sort of like career? Was there one particular place where you thought, yeah, this is making me back what I'm putting into it? Or, did you experiment with quite a few places and find that one of them stood out more than the others?
Yes. So unfortunately, there is no one size fits all for books and book marketing at all. And that's also a big problem you get when you try to find information how to market your book, and you will buy books about book marketing, and they will be either outdated or talking about another genre, and then won't work for you. So unfortunately, it depends on the genre you write in. It's also the platform. So for example, to come back to social media, X, Twitter is strong in general, and it's very, very good for authors to build up a community. But for example, if you write young adult or romance, then you have to be on TikTok. If you want to sell books, you have to be on TikTok. If you write something more for adults or from a male audience, you have to be on Facebook. So Facebook is where you find the male readers. My readers are 80% male. And so Facebook is my platform. That's where I am, where I spend hours every day. But for other authors, like when you write romance, it will be TikTok, and you have to be there. So find out what is your audience, who are you writing for, where is this audience, and then go get there and communicate with them. And the same applies to ads. For me, paying ads on TikTok would be a waste of money because my audience isn't there. So I can spend thousands and get nothing out of it. But there will be other authors who will tell you, oh my God, I made so much money because I ran ads on TikTok. And then you try it and find out it's not working for me. Why? Maybe because your audience wasn't there. So what works for me might not work for you. That's a super important thing, in my opinion. And but what you have to do is run ads on Amazon. Even if you don't make money with them, even if you don't get many clicks, you have to run ads on Amazon. That's essential. I don't sell many. My platform is Facebook. I run Facebook ads and Twitter ads, and that's where my sales are coming from. And I have like a cost per click of, I think, 3 cents. So that's really good. So I mastered it for myself, how to do that. But I also run ads on Amazon, and those cost me 40 cents or 50 cents per click. And you have to run those ads on Amazon, or Amazon will hide your books. This is the thing. Unfortunately, after 1 month, you publish a new book and it's a new release, so Amazon will always give you a little bit of a boost. After 1 month, this boost will be down by 50%. After 3 months, it will be completely gone. So then your book will disappear and will end up like in over 1 million in the rankings or something like that. And then you're depressed and think nobody likes me. But you have to run ads, because then Amazon will show your book organically. This is the trick behind Amazon ads. You run them, and not necessarily you get the clicks. You get the clicks. They cost you money, and you're frustrated. Oh my God, nobody's buying my book from the clicks, but they will buy the books organically because Amazon will show you books organically, and maybe someone who saw the ad will see the book again, and so on. So you have to run Amazon ads. This is unfortunately something every author who sells on Amazon needs to spend money on Amazon ads. And even if they don't work, because they do in a different way. Amazon will hide your books if you don't. It's unfortunately they're taking us hostage there. They don't say it clearly to you. They don't tell you, hey, you spend money or else. No, but your book will simply disappear. That's what they do. So unfortunately, that's the thing. You have to spend money on Amazon and then find out what is good for you. So for me, it is Facebook. I tried BookBub ads, and it was horrible for me. That was such a horrible waste of money. It was, oh my God, I spent hundreds for nothing. It was awful. And all because I read a book by some guy who is pretty famous and who was telling how great BookBub is. And then so I said, okay, maybe I need to try it. And it was horrible. It's a disaster. So always take everything you learn especially from books about writing and marketing, take it with a grain of salt, because very often it is very outdated. And everything that worked 10 years ago doesn't work anymore, for example, And there are there's advice, like they will give you advice, like write a blog. Oh my God, don't. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was like 15 years ago. 15 years ago, you could write a blog and someone maybe was interested. Nowadays, don't, because nobody will read it. You will spend time on it. You can spend writing. So if someone tells you, start a blog, go away, never talk to them again.
I love it. I love this. It's really nice to hear that this is something that, authors need to take seriously and need to factor in to it before they even begin to think about launching. They need to say, right, am I prepared to put something out there? And the more you put into it, the more you'll get back from it. So, are you ready to put enough into it to get back what you want from it? And I think that's the message that I'm getting from you, Anna, is basically, it's up to an indie author how they launch. But if you only are prepared to put in the bare minimum, you can't then complain if nobody sees your book. It's just one of those things where the more you do, the more you get back. Have you found that principle has been true for you, Alex? That the more you put into marketing, the more you've got back from it?
Yeah, I would say so. As in, I had put very little into it because I haven't got over the barrier yet of being, able to shout about my books, which I will now do, obviously, as Anna has made very clear needs to happen. And yeah, it's the if you don't interact with people, they don't know you're there. Or if you don't, it's just, as Anna says, if you don't put the adverts on Amazon, then it's going to prioritize other people. Even if they're searching for something that's very, very similar to your book, it'll prioritize other people that maybe aren't even a good fit for that search, but you haven't paid for the ads. So you need to, do that to keep yourself on an even keel. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you do put in, get out roughly what you put in, because you're just making people aware that you're there. And, like Anna said earlier about her socials being full of cyberpunk or adjacent kind of things of tech news and things, so people can find you on social media. And then when you do mention your book, you're like, well, yeah, because she loves all that stuff, so I'll go check out the book. So I think, yeah, you do, and that's something I need to remember.
There's another thing. So if you publish your first book, unless you're very, very lucky, you won't make money with it. This is something you need to understand. One book alone is very unlikely to make you your money back. So it is an investment, and then you will start making money once you have 2 or 3 books in a series. One book, just from the beginning, just know it won't make you money. You will lose money, but it is not lost money, because it is an investment for the future, because people who like the first book will hopefully read the second book. and you get reviews and so on. So when you have the second book launched, it will be easier and so on. So, but you have to run ads even if you have only one book. But chances that you will make your money back are very, very small. Later on, when you have more books, then usually like a good number is that you make back 3 times as much as you spend on ads. So if you can achieve that, then that's a good number, and that's where you want to be. And depending on how much you make, the more you can spend each month and make more money. But like the beginning, the first book, you will lose money, and you have to invest that money. If you want to do it seriously, if you really want to bring your book out there and people read it, and even if it's just a hobby, if you don't want to do it as a career, but if it's a hobby you love and you really want people to see it, then you have to spend money on it. Unfortunately, this is the thing. And what I also wanted to say is the genre is extremely important. So there are genres that are super difficult to sell and others are easier. This is just a fact. And what I also hate is authors who will tell you like, yeah, well, how do I sell a book? And then the first thing is like, yeah, write a good book. And then they ask you if you ask them if there's a certain genre they should write. And they say, just write whatever you love, and when you love it, people will love it too. This is just slap people who tell you that, okay? This is such bullshit. No, people don't care what you love. Nobody gives a damn. You have to understand, nobody out there gives a damn about you. Nobody. You need to make them like you. You need to make them want to read your book. So telling an author who wants to, I don't know, write for example, as a cyberpunk romance, someone tells me I would like to write a cyberpunk romance. Now, I'm an honest person. I will tell them, don't. Nobody wants that. Other authors will say, oh, great. If you love it, then people will love it too. And then this person writes the book and says, why does nobody like it? Well, because the cyberpunk audience is 80% male between 30 and 50. The last thing they want to see is a romance. So it won't work. Maybe it will. You can always be lucky, okay? There are always those people who are lucky for no reason, but don't take them as an example. Just look, what genre do you want to write? So if you want to write something super specific, super niche, or something unique, nobody else did before, you need to know that it will be much more difficult for you to do marketing for that book than for someone else. And this is like, for me, cyberpunk is my life. So I want to write cyberpunk books. But it is super difficult to sell those books and to advertise them and to build up an audience and everything. That's why most authors in this genre will give up after 1 or 2 or 3 books. And I'm the only crazy one who has like 20 because I decided for myself, okay, I will make people like it because it's a great genre and someone has to do it. And but if I had chosen like to write, I don't know, space opera, then it would have been easier for me. It's also like, had I chosen to write under a male pen name, it would have been easier for me. But I was like, no, I am who I am, and that's it. So I'm basically the only female cyberpunk author because I was crazy enough to do that. So don't be like me, okay? Don't do that to yourself unless you're a masochist. Then you might enjoy it. But don't be like me. If you can have the easy way, take the easy way. If you want to, if you like cyberpunk and you like space opera, write space opera because you will be much happier. And it's the same with all other genres. Find out what people really like, what is an easy sell, and if that corresponds with stuff you like, then write that. Don't write what you love because chances are very high that other people won't love it.
I think that's something that you need to be really aware of when it comes to sales. I think that it is important to write the stuff that you love because, like you, Anna, you write the stuff that you love. As an indie, you get that freedom to be able to do that, and that's part of what makes indie publishing so special is that you can do that. But it is also going to then have an impact on how you pitch it, how you sell it, and who you're selling it to. So, you can't just expect everybody to get on board. You have to create that and carve that out. And marketing is a really important step for that. So I think what you're saying about targeting your marketing is brilliant advice for people, because you can't go into it with this wide-eyed idea that if I just put things out there, it will work. You've got to really think ahead and think, right, how am I going to target so that if I'm going to spend money on ads, where's the best place for it? Where am I going to see the most back from that? If you're going to, if you book one as an investment, at what time do you release that and start marketing it if you know that you're going to need to maybe write another couple of books in order to start seeing returns? So it affects your launch, and it affects how you launch it. What I want to maybe touch it on and maybe just ask you both about is how you stand out with marketing, because everybody is marketing, everybody's doing it. How do you do something that's different or that makes people pay attention? What have you found that works? Maybe if we go across to Alex first for this, and then we'll come back to, because Alex is, of course, the authority on marketing and how it works, not being able to even say his book is good. So let's say, Alex, how do you stand out in marketing? Is there anything you've seen that you really like, or anything that you've done? And then we'll let Anna pick up on giving us the lowdown on it.
Excuse me. I think that finding, as you said, finding your niche and finding kind of that targeting is very important. And I think standing out with finding those things that you do enjoy, that, again, kind of as Anna touched on, not necessarily going immediately for what you love and then damn the consequences, but if you can find something that you think people connect to that you also enjoy, that you could share, and that maybe not everybody is doing. So you can create that as a, I hesitate to use the word branding, but we're talking about marketing, that, something that people will come to associate with you as a personal brand. So they think, oh, this person does X, Y, Z really well, and I love X and Z, so I'll go and see them for what they're doing. Or, some interesting things that they share. So, I am a big fan of dinosaurs. So I think, that's something I like to sort of share my love of. And even if people aren't as big a fans of dinosaurs as I am, there's no quiz on being somebody who I'm friends with. So they can hopefully people see your passion for whatever you're sharing and, connect with you over that. And then so I hope that's, maybe how you stand out is finding some areas that you are passionate about, that you can connect with people on, so you will come across genuinely, and trying to find that sweet spot, as Hannah sort of pointed out, of something that you enjoy and can be passionate about, and that other people will also connect with you, rather than being passionate about poetry from Cornwall from the 5th to 6th century BC. I'm not saying it's not good, I'm just saying that's very niche, and you probably won't get a lot of people coming to you, oh yeah, I also love that. Maybe 2 people, I don't know.
The older cream tea and a pasty is there's that is better. That is niche, Alex. I like it. I'm now going to immediately go and, after this, look up some Cornish poetry to send to you.
It's a very small audience, and they were all at the meeting last week, so you don't need to reach out to them. You've already connected.
What about you, Anna? How do you stand out in your marketing?
Don't stand out. All right, so two things here. You want to stand out as a person, like what Alex said. Yes, go into the dinosaur and try to become the dinosaur guy, and eventually people will know, hey, Alex Bradshaw, that's the dinosaur guy. And so you need to really annoy them with dinosaurs. Bring the dinosaurs over and over and over again, and oh yeah, that's the dinosaur guy. Yeah, maybe I should check out his books. There should be dinosaurs in there, right? Okay. So that's something you have for yourself, what is unique, and where you can go for it. If it comes to your books, don't try to stand out. Look what is popular and create a similar cover, similar title, and try. So see what people like and try to be like that. Don't try to stand out. Try to be like the stuff people like. in my case, I reached a point where people try to make their covers look like mine, or there's a ripoff of Behind Blue Eyes out there. There is a ripoff of Space Punks out there. So I should feel flattered because, yeah, obviously people think copying me is a great idea. In a way, it's flattering. It's not so much flattering if it's basically your work. So I noticed that people started to copy my style, and often cyberpunk authors who were getting started out and so on. And but that's because it's such a small niche and there are only a few authors. So obviously I will be one of those they will copy. But if you want to write cyberpunk, please don't copy me. Oh, no, and I'm not saying do that. Okay, don't write cyberpunk at all if you want to sell books. Okay. Unless we already covered that, unless you're a masochist, then go for it. You will have the best time of your life. No, so see for your genre, see what is good, what is working there, how people market their books, what is the cover, what is the title, what is the blurb, and go for that. Something not a ripoff, something similar, because readers want to read the same story again, just a little bit different. They don't want to have something new. So standing out is not necessarily great when you market your book, but if you market yourself, that's a different story, because that's where you build up your reader base and your fans, and who often also become friends and so on. And you do that by being unique, by presenting something they enjoy. And if you have a Facebook group, Alex, and put up dinosaur stuff there, then you will have your following who comes and looks at your stuff just because they enjoy it, right? So this is the thing: stand out as a person, don't stand out with your book.
I love it. This is why I'm trying so hard to be the annoying guy from Spotlight Indie, because that's my brand. You see, if I can annoy people enough and irritate them, the listeners and the viewers, then that's me done. I'm marketed.
You're not annoying.
They again with the compliments, Anna. Stop it.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do,
I don't know. I met so many annoying people in my life, and you're not one of them.
I love it. I want to talk finally about on this topic of marketing and launches, about content and about what the purpose is of creating content for marketing, because I feel a lot of people see like book trailers going out there, they see cover reveals, they see, blog articles, they see all of these different things, all this different content that they spend time doing, but there's not really a whole heap of advice as to like why to do it and why you're staggering it, why you're planning it, and it's not just this throw everything approach at it. So tell us a little bit about the way that you build anticipation through marketing. What's the secret of that? Because I feel like a lot of people feel that marketing is just something that you just throw things out there and you get things back, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? There's an art and almost like a science to how to build anticipation through it. So how do you go about doing that? Is that something that you have to plan in advance for? Is that something that what's your tips that you got, Anna, for us when it comes to
I plan my releases months in advance. Of course, now in my case it's a little bit easier because I already have readers, but with every book launch you want to find new readers also. So even if it's book 5 you're launching, you still try to apply to new people, because they see book 5, they see this looks interesting, and they will start with book 1 and then hopefully read all of them. So it's not that when you launch a book in a series later on that you only appeal to the people who already know you. And what I do is I make a plan, and I start the campaign months before the book releases. Like Behind Blue Eyes 6 will release in June, and I started my marketing campaign for it before Christmas. So that's where I started with throwing the cover, and then showing some artwork, and then a snippet from the book I'm writing now, or what else? Of course, I do the trailers, because don't do trailers. Unless you have too much money, or unless you really like enjoy creating them like I do, then don't make them. Okay, if for me it's a hobby. I used to be a film editor. I know how to do it, and I enjoy to sit down and work like 20 hours on a trailer, and then nobody will notice it. I will say, oh my god, that looks so great, I did such a great job here, whatever. That's the same like with the first line we talked about. So I'm doing it for myself, and it's nice to have the trailers, but if you can't do them yourself in a professional way or want to spend a lot of money, don't do them, because trailers don't work as good as simple pictures. And so yeah, create artwork, create snippets from your book, and then maybe like a nice graphic where you show the cover and coming soon or pre-order now, that kind of stuff. And you put that out there. Don't try to overwhelm people. So what is important is you do only 30% marketing, and 70% of your content should be something about you or about the topic. So in my case, on Facebook, I post artwork, cyberpunk artwork every day for my fans, or like an article about artificial intelligence or whatever, and or make funny games with them. Will Nephilim win against whoever? That kind of stuff, just for fun for them, so they enjoy in my content. And 30% will be actual marketing, where I put out like, here, this is the new book cover. Have you pre-ordered yet? And you started months in advance, and then the last months before you release, the most important one, that's where you start pushing. That's where you will show more content that is actually marketing. So you will lose the 70-30% rule, basically swoop it around and push it harder, so people are more aware of it, that it's coming. And then when you have the release week, also push. Don't push everything on the first day of your release. That's also an important thing. Amazon doesn't like sudden spikes, which is why, for example, BookBub ads don't work so well anymore, where you have a spike of one day and sell 1,000 books, and then the next day you sell 2 books. Amazon doesn't like that. Amazon wants a constant sales for your books. That's what the algorithm will pick up on. That's also why it's so important to run ads continuously, because you will have like a steady sales from your book. That's what the algorithm wants. So for your release, that means you need to tickle the algorithm, as I call it. And you tickle the algorithm not by throwing out your book release on all your platforms and your newsletter and telling your grandma on day one. You will just do one post somewhere, maybe on your newsletter, and then the next day you will do your post on X. Then the next day you will do your post on Facebook, and so on for a couple of days. You do that for 2 weeks and post continuously, and hopefully will get some sales from it. Also, you of course start running ads immediately on day one. Release day, you want your ads to be running. Ideally, you start your ads a couple of days before, so the algorithm can start being tickled. And then so when your book launches, the ads are already have views. So that's what I would also recommend. Start the ads before the launch, a week before or something. And then spread your marketing over 2 weeks. Don't put everything on one day. That's a very bad idea. Everybody who tells you to stack your stuff is wrong, because it worked. That's another thing. It used to work very well, but Amazon changes the algorithm all the time, so you have to adapt to that. So in earlier times, it was great to have one big spike, and the spike would carry you for weeks. Nowadays, this spike won't do nothing for you. So, but that's because Amazon changed their stuff, and they change stuff all the time, and it's usually not to the better for us authors. So that's why you have to be inventive, and sometimes things you have been doing for years stop working, and you don't know why, and then you have to figure out why is it not working anymore. What is happening? And then usually it's not your fault. It's not the product that got worse, or you doing something wrong. Usually something changed. Algorithm on Amazon, algorithm on Facebook, stuff like that. And then you have to adapt and see how you can bring yourself back up. It's awful. It's awful. It's a struggle. It's a daily struggle. I spent like 2 hours on marketing every day. It's awful. Seriously. it's part of the job. You have to do it. But I mean, it's like with every job. You don't, even if you have a nice job, you will always have to do stuff you don't like. So in my case, I have my dream job. I'm a full-time author, but well, yeah, I have to do at least 2 hours of marketing every day.
What are your final thoughts? So let's go to Alex. Final thoughts on marketing.
Get over yourself and just do it. That seems to be the thread. I have been thinking, you can pretend that you're somebody else. Like, you have a marketing department and pretend that you're somebody else, and they have, your job at that moment is to shout about your books and yourself. So if you are worried about that, just maybe try and have an out-of-body experience about what would this other person say about it. That somebody you're paying, because effectively you are, you're paying yourself in your own time to do that. What would they say about your books, and scream about that? Yeah, and I think what you were saying earlier, Frasier, and about these sort of stacking up and sort of creating these little snippets and things like that. And I think that's can be very powerful, because you create these like open loops with people, right? So that they have this snippet and they think, oh, well, doesn't fully explain everything. It just sort of leaves a little thorn in the reader's head to say, well, this was really interesting. Don't you want to find out a little bit more about that? So that's, I think, quite powerful as well. But yeah, just listen to Anna, I guess. She's very wise. That's my final thought.
It's a great final thought. What about you, Anna? Have you got like a final thought, like if you were going to break down your marketing manifesto into like a pitch? What would you say?
My pitch is not very good, actually. So I appreciated that Alex said, listen to Anna. I really appreciate it. I would like to say that I did literally everything wrong you can do wrong. I made every mistake on the way. And the only reason why I am where I am now, where I'm able to make a living as an author, is because I learned from those mistakes. And every time I fell flat on my face, I decided, okay, I will get up and do better. So you have to be resilient. Maybe you're luckier than me and won't make mistakes, but you probably will, because your book you're writing is probably a different one than mine, and everything I said might not work. And then, so please don't blame me, okay? If you do everything I said and then have zero sales, don't write me an angry email. It might not work for you, but you have to try, and then you have to try something else and adapt and adapt and adapt. And the struggle is real. Yeah, that's probably my pitch. The struggle is real. Just do it.
Listen to Anna, and then when it all goes wrong, don't blame Anna. That's the I feel like some of the things that we've covered in this has been really helpful, because we've been talking about, if it feels dirty to market your book, get dirty. Don't be afraid of it. Don't put it off. It's something that you need to do. And what you put into it, you will get out of it, but you have to target what you put into it, and you have to make sure that what you are putting it into it is the right thing. So don't be afraid to experiment with it, but when you find something that works, use it. And the other things I think that we've talked about is, just make sure that you are marketing yourself as well as your books, and that is all, everything you put out there into the public is marketing. So view it that way and think, there is no useless sort of like post that you put out there. Everything has its purpose. Everything will be used.
Let me interrupt. A very important thing I forgot to say. Don't polarize unless it is good for your brand.
Yeah.
Don't talk about politics. Never talk about politics, because readers don't care who you vote for or what you think. They don't care. They don't want to hear that. You are nobody to them. They don't want to know that. Unless you're selling books that go in the direction, or unless you want to be seen as a controversial person, where people interact with you and argue with you, and other people think, oh, you're awesome because you argue with them or whatever, or you stand up for whatever topic. Okay, unless this is your brand and you want to be that person, never touch a topic that is controversial. Don't talk about politics ever. Don't. Even if it's tempting, okay? If you see something on the news and you think, oh my God, what is this? And then you write an angry tweet, don't. Because you will lose readers because of that. Simple. Some people will like it, but others will hate it. And maybe they start arguing with you, and don't. So sorry if I interrupted you.
No, it's great. I feel like
you shouldn't put out everything. That's
Yeah, you feel you've got to be true, but to be true to your brand as well as to yourself, I
Yeah.
think is the main thing.
Mhm.
Because you've got to view yourself almost every single writer out there is a person, and that person is their brand. And that's really important for newbies to understand that, your brand is not something, just having a brand is going to help you in marketing because it's going to help you to know how to target the people and how to reach people. So just enjoy it. Try and make the most out of the interactions you get with people. It will fuel you, and use the marketing as a tool. Don't be afraid of it. I think that's main. If we can sum up like our chat with those principles, I think that will hopefully be helpful for a lot of new time writers.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your wisdom and for your advice, Anna. It has been really, really good. And thank you, Alex, for joining us and for sharing your wisdom as well. And it's just such a pleasure to be able to get to learn from somebody who's really, feel like you've really mastered it, Anna, this art of marketing. So I feel like it's really of benefit to thank you for proving that there's no such thing as a stupid question. And next, on the next one of these segments, we will probably explore a different aspect of the launch, to be able to round out this series to give it a proper answer to our viewer who's looking to launch their book. So thank you for your question, and thank you for your answers, guys. And Anna, thank you for being with us for the past 3 weeks. It's been such a delight to have you.
It
For
was
any
awesome.
Yeah, it's been so good. So for anybody who still doesn't know how to contact you, and they, this may be the first video that they've watched and they haven't watched your other two, let people know where they can reach you.
The best way to reach me is on social media, on Facebook or on X. I'm also on Instagram, and I have a website. It's everywhere. My name, Anna Mocikat. I'm the only person in the world with that name combination, so you can't miss me. Or just type Behind Blue Eyes into Amazon, and my book will pop up first. Read it. It's a great book. And I'm not ashamed to say that. So read it, enjoy it, and if you like it, let me know and let's talk about it.
Awesome. I love it. And I wholeheartedly agree with everything Anna said. Not only is she the only person with that combination of names, but her book is great. You should totally read it, Behind Blue Eyes. The whole series, just come on. It's just awesome.
Thank you.
Alex, where can people find you?
As Alex S. Bradshaw on various social medias, so Facebook, Instagram, X, Bluesky, wherever socials shall be had, I probably am there, spending too much time on it. So and alexsbradshaw.com as well, where I have more information about my fantastic books, which you should definitely read, buy, and check out, and sell to your friends as well. Frasier, where can people find you and Spotlight Indie?
Yes, Alex, this is the way. This is already. I love it.
It begins.
I love it.
It begins.
It begins. So everywhere you check out Alex Bradshaw, if he is not saying his books are great, please pull him up on it. Yeah. You can find me, FrasierArmitage.com. You can find Spotlight Indie, spotlightindie.co.uk. Across all the socials, my name or Spotlight Indie, you'll find us. And yeah, it will be great to see you there. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to all you Spotlight Indies out there, and we will see you next time.